A date which will live in infamy.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
Light our country and all who serve it, and the glow from that fire can truly light the world.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Read my lips. No new access.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Morning, Sunday morning.
What difference at this point does it make?
You once again gave a non-answer. Joe Biden gave a non-answer.
Trying to answer you
The
now.
American people deserve it.
What are we talking about? Come on, man.
All right, let's pivot now to a viewer comment. Bill wrote in and said, "Hey, Dan, solution to the vaccine passport issue, use an honor system to allow businesses to be exempt from the policing responsibility. The state could then do random checks within those businesses and cite individuals that were not masked and did not have proof or could not provide proof of a vaccine." And then he landed the plane writing, "Businesses should not have to bear the additional burden of policing a state mandate at this time when they have suffered so much from COVID." Bill, we can tell you put a lot of thought into that. Thank you so much for writing in. Seriously. So here's the deal. The state has been asked before about the idea of businesses at least being able to opt out of this vaccine passport policy. And we learned yesterday that national business groups wrote to the Biden administration condemning Oregon's mandate. On top of that, conservative groups are threatening to sue the state if Governor Kate Brown doesn't drop that mandate. But all of that in mind, officials have said not only can businesses not opt out, they could actually be fined if they don't check your vaccine passport at the door. In fact, here's what an OSHA administrator told Oregon lawmakers last week.
The penalties would depend on a number of factors. If an employer was careless in their implementation of their policy to the level that we thought it rose to a violation, and we felt that there was exposure as a result of that, so that employees were potentially subject to COVID-19, then the penalty would be calculated using a matrix that takes into account the size of the business. In the penalties we've issued related to COVID-19 so far that did not involve willful violations, many of those penalties have been calculated at $100 or $125 or $175, depending on the size and some of the other factors involved. But if an employer refused to comply, or simply said, "I'm going to use the honor system, I don't care what the state says," well, the minimum penalty for a willful violation is $8,900.
So that administrator went on to clarify that fine would be per business, not per unmasked customer.